looking at?
Oh, the silent majesty of a winter's morn, the clean, cool chill of the holiday air. A gigantic chunk of ice headed straight for us, spelling certain doom.
Quick, warn everybody.
Hamburger straight ahead!
What? Wrong bird, dude.
Burgermeister straight ahead! Iceberg lettuce straight ahead!
Sound it out, come on.
Ice, baby.
Ugh. I'll handle this.
Iceberg, right ahead.
Oh man, I'm not ready to go out like this.
There's so many things I wanted to do. So many questions.
Like what?
Are chipmunks just baby squirrels? Do all Fruit Loops taste the same? Is rice really just tiny spaghetti?
Those are all really specific questions. I don't think we have time to answer all of those. Is there one thing that you really need to know?
I guess. How do you survive a giant crash into an iceberg?
Well, in order to know that, we need to learn the history of the Titanic.
On April 30th, 1907, two guys named J. Bruce Ismay,
Mustache. You a question?
Do you get it? 'Cause I got a mustache.
and Lord William James Peary
I'm wearing 7 jackets.
came up with the idea to build the Titanic. It took roughly 3,000 people and about 3 years to build the ship.
Wow.
Historians say it cost roughly $7,500,000 to build. That's about $400 million today.
Over $7 million spent, and they missed out on the one thing the Titanic needed.
What's that?
A flamethrower. Put one of them suckers in front of the Titanic and that iceberg would be toast.
What? How can an iceberg be toast? Those are two totally different. Oh, never mind, I get it.
The Titanic was built in Belfast, Ireland by the White Star Line Company and was owned by J.P. Morgan, an American tycoon.
I like big boats and I cannot lie.
This company also built 2 other sister ships that look a lot like the Titanic, the Olympic and the Britannic.
Ships have sisters? Do they have moms too? Wow. Imagine the Titanic's mom. She must be gigantor.
I don't even know what to say to you right now.
You're telling me you're not the least bit curious about the Titanic's mom?
Not even a little bit.
I thought we had the same interests. I feel like I don't even know you anymore. Carry on, stranger.
The Titanic was almost as long as 3 football fields and as tall as a 17-story building. The engines of the Titanic used more than 800 tons of coal a day, and the top speed was 27 miles per hour. She was one of the first ships to have a telephone system and electric lights in all bedrooms, with 4 elevators, a heated swimming pool, a gym, 2 libraries, and 2 barber shops. It had a total of 840 rooms for the 1,323 guests and close to 900 employees who could be on the ship. And that's not all. Even with all this stuff and all these people, historians say that the ship could have fit another 1,324 people on it.
Yeah, but did it have a flamethrower?
No!
Noobs. So let's say someone wanted to ride the Titanic. How much was the ticket?
The cost was $4,350 for a first-class ticket, $1,750 for a standard-class ticket, and $30 for a third-class ticket.
Who would spend $4,000 to go on a big boat that's gonna hit an iceberg?
What? They didn't know they were gonna hit an iceberg when they bought their tickets.
Well, why didn't the drivers tell them?
They didn't know either.
That's false advertising. They should totally ask for their money back.
The Titanic eventually set sail on April 10th, 1912. She sailed from Southampton, England on her first crossing of the Atlantic Ocean to New York. The journey was meant to take only 137 hours until you know what happened.
What?
Duh, the Titanic hit an iceberg and sunk.
The Titanic is the name of a boat? What? I thought it was just an overrated movie from the 90s starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Tell me more about this sinking stuff.
On the path to New York, the Titanic employees received 6 warnings about icebergs. Titanic here. Yes? What's that? Why does your voice sound like a saxophone? Most of the messages were ignored, but on April 15th, 1912, there was no wind and the waters were calm. This made it difficult to see any icebergs. Then it happened. The Titanic hit an enormous iceberg.
Tell me about the sinking. Was it just like a giant explosion? Like screaming old ladies and sharks jumping onto the boat and stuff?
No, not at all. It actually took the boat 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink.
Why didn't the people just hop onto the lifeboats?
Well, the Titanic was equipped to hold 64 lifeboats, but it only brought 20.
What?
As the Titanic went down and the ship began to sink, the musicians on board were rumored to continue playing and never bothered to stop. Historians think the band actually went down with the ship.
Are y'all ready to rock?
It's not a rock. It's an iceberg.
Okay, fine. Are y'all ready to iceberg? What?
The Titanic took 15 minutes to reach the ocean floor, sinking at a speed of around 10 miles per hour. To date, the Titanic is still over 12,000 feet deep in the ocean.
Wow. Did people die on the Titanic?
Yep. Unfortunately, 1,500 people died in the sinking of the Titanic. Only about 705 people survived.
Did any lobsters survive?
What do you mean?
I'm assuming the Titanic had a kitchen.
Yeah.
Did they serve lobsters?
Uh-huh.
Imagine that. You're a lobster in a tank, chilling on a giant boat, waiting to get eaten, and all of a sudden, boom! The ship gets hit by an iceberg, and you are safely returned to your home.
Wow, you're right. Lucky lobsters.
Now you know, kids. If you're ever on a giant boat and about to hit an iceberg, jump into the lobster tank.
Titanic here. What's that? Mr. DeMaio has quizzes and worksheets to go along with his videos? And there's a link in the description box? How cool! Come again? He has t-shirts? Pillows? And socks too? And there's a link in the description box for that as well? Anything else? This guy says he would like to thank Catherine Brown, Heather Leonard, Zeno the Shark, and Michelle and Conrad for their contributions on Patreon. You're right, they are all very stupendous. Consider becoming Mr. Mayo's patron on Patreon. Doing so lets you see his videos early, pick his next topic, see secret videos he doesn't post on YouTube, and more. Check the description box for a link.
Disneyland is
Ow, neck.